Isang mapayapang hapon Pilipinas. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Macuja Elizalde, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH Radio at sa mga nanonood sa DZRH TV, lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Traditional weaving in Philippine textiles is an art form that embodies the country's rich cultural heritage. Ang iba't ibang weaving communities ng ating bansa ay hindi lamang nagpapakita ng mga natatanging estilo sa paghabi, ibinabahagi din nila ang mga kwento na nagpapakita ng kanilang kasaysayan at pagkakakilanlan. Ang suporta para sa traditional weaving ay nagpapalakas din ng eco-sustainability dahil maraming weavers ang gumagamit ng mga materyales at pamamaraang mas magaan sa kalikasan. Sa pagpapahalaga ng mga telang ito, hindi lamang natin pinapangalagaan ang kabuhayan, kundi pati na rin ang ating kultura. Kaya't huwag kayong aalis sa hapong ito. Samahan ninyo kami sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan kasama ang dalawang masugid na tagapagtaguyod ng Philippine Textiles, who are both dedicated to promoting these beautiful crafts on the international stage. Habi Director Rambi Katrina Lim and Sustainable Fashion Entrepreneur Steffi Kua. Magbabalik po ang Art to Art pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami.
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
ACS. Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa.
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at madupit na dumit mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon.
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Nandito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama natin sa hapong ito ang Director ng Habi The Philippine Textile Council na si Ms. Rambi Katrina Lim, together with entrepreneur and Philippine Textile Advocate Ms. Steffi Kua. Magandang hapon, Rambi, Steffi, and welcome to Art to Art.
Magandang hapon rin. Buhay.
So Rambi, kayo muna, itinatag ang Habi The Philippine Textile Council noong 2009 upang punuan ang kakulangan sa pagpapromote ng Philippine Textiles. Pwede mo bang ibahagi ang unang vision ng organization at paano ito nag-evolve sa mga nakaraang taon?
So tinatag nga nung 2009 ang Habi Philippine Textile Council. And it was really not only to promote Philippine textile but also to support the weavers of our traditional crafts in the Philippines. Nung 2009 nakita namin yung decline ng interest at saka ng production ng Philippine textiles. At so naging, I guess that was our goal, is to help them to reach out to the weaving communities because we have so much beautiful crafts and textiles around the Philippines. So in the process of helping promote them, sustain them, and support them, we have had several programs. So we publish books on it, and then also we have documentaries, competitions. The biggest one really is the fair that we will be having this October 18, 19, and 20 at the Glorieta Activity Center. And this really brings together, we have about 80 vendors from all over the Philippines. This is our 14th year, and so we really want to be able we're really happy that we were able to be joined by people from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The fair is also where we have our competitions. So we have some pieces here from the abaca weaving competition and the pinya weaving competition.
Ang gaganda,
Yes.
grabe. Oo. Okay, so pero sino-sino yung mga founding members ng Habi and paano kayo nagtitipon-tipon?
So our founding members is Maria Isabel Ungpin, is our chairman emeritus. Our president emeritus is Adelaida Lim. Our current sitting president is Maria Villanueva. I myself am also part of the board. We get together as the board at least quarterly. At the same time, we have constant communication with the members of Habi on how we can help promote. We do have Habi engagements throughout the year. We just finished a talk with the DFA. So we brought in Dr. Norma Respicio to give a talk on Tingayan textiles. So we try, education is really the forefront of Habi.
Yes.
We want to educate the Philippines on the different kinds of textiles and the different kinds of crafts because as our identities as Filipino, it's good to keep that intact.
Yes. I can see nga parang very diverse, iba-iba talaga, no? And usually, ang nakaka-identify lang ng mga tao sa pinya, you know, also yung barong. And,
Barong,
you know,
because
all of
it's like
that.
the longest kasi
Yun
you
ang
always
talagang
use it
ano,
at weddings.
Yes.
But like piña is something that flourished during the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. But we also have to remember that traditionally, our communities, our craftsmen really did do for clothing. So this is an example of abaca inabal textile by the Bagobo Tagabawa. So used for clothing and for home tradition ages
And talagang
ago.
mga traditional weaving, it's made by hand, no?
Yes,
Oo,
all is made by hand, but we also celebrate weavers, communities, groups, designers who want to innovate and to adapt to the modern uses and modern techniques to make their life easy so that they can create better and they be more excited to create new things. Yeah.
Okay. So, Steffi, ikaw naman, nakapagtrabaho ka sa fashion industry, sa iba't ibang bansa, at ngayon sinusuportahan mo naman ang Filipino weavers sa pamamagitan ng iyong sustainable brand na Idyllic Summers.
Yes.
Ano ang nag-inspire sa iyo para lumipat mula sa global fashion career patungo naman sa pag-advocate para sa local textiles at sustainable resort wear sa Pilipinas?
Okay, so I've worked in both the Philippines and also in the UK, the EU fashion industry. And I think what I learned was that our crafts are actually quite unique. You know, when you go to Europe and like London, you see na parang, oh my gosh, like the Philippines has a very different way of weaving, a very different way of embellishment. And I think coming back here, it was really about finding that deeper connection to our identity. And also, you know, there's a lot of brands nowadays in the world. So it's about, you know, what can I make that will support like a bigger community other than myself? And I think, you know, when you meet a lot of like the weavers and the artisans, you will actually really appreciate what they do, and they're, you just see how beautiful their work is, and you really appreciate that. And I think, you know, that's been like such an inspiration for me to create clothing, because I have been in the industry for quite some time.
Okay.
And this is really something special. That's all I have to say. And I think you can really see in, you know, our textiles that you can't find them anywhere else.
And Idyllic Summers, your brand, specializes in resort wear?
Yes. So Idyllic Summers, I call it resort wear, but it's not just for the beach. You know, as you know, like in the Philippines, we're a tropical country. All year round, it's hot. So that's really my vision for the brand. It's really creating something that you can wear from January to December. And that's why we don't really do winter wear, and that's why I call it resort wear.
I see. Okay. But so can you share with us kung bakit espesyal para sa taong ito, particularly gaganapin ang Likhang Habi Market Fair? You mentioned earlier this October 18, 19, 20. Paano ito patuloy na tumutulong sa mga weavers and artisans sa buong Pilipinas?
So this year, it's the 14th annual Likhang Habi Market Fair. So we started from 11 weavers, and now we have 80 to 90 plus weavers.
Wow.
No, weaving enterprises.
Yes.
And then it's across the board. We work, our vendors are designers. We even have footwear. We also have hats. So for example, this year we'll have a lot of representation from the Bangsamoro region. And then, so this is a Sarok Kambigasan from Sulu. So it's a Tausog fisherman's hat. And the diversity of items from, say, Basilan all the way to Ifugao and Kalinga, in the midways of Aklan, Kalibo, Iloilo. For us, the fair is a market encounter, a chance for weaving enterprises to be able to meet the consumers, to meet their fellow weavers, sewers, and entrepreneurs, so that they can open their minds to the other possibilities.
Yes.
We are, Habi is a civic council, so we're here to help and support, but we want to be able to make sure that they will grow as entrepreneurs. We've had weavers, weaving entrepreneurs that have been with us since the beginning, and we see that they're coming in and they're asking for 2 booths instead of just 1. So we see the growth, and that's really why Habi is doing it. It's for the weavers and for everybody to be given the opportunity. During the fair, it will also have the 2 competition exhibitions. So it will be the 7th Lourdes Montenola Piña Weaving Competition. We have about 22 entries, and then about 14 or 16 entries for the Eloisa Hison Gomez Abaca Weaving Competition, which is on its 3rd year.
So, in the competition, as in magwe-weave talaga sila sa
so-
harap ng tao? Or?
No, so we asked weavers to send in their entries, and they have already been judged, but we're not yet disclosing till the fair.
Sino naman ang judges? Ang mga founding members din?
No, our judges are distinguished designers, researchers, and I guess stalwarts in Philippine culture. So, for example, of a judge for the Piña Weaving competition is Len Kabili of a Filipina,
Yes.
and she also gives the innovation award for the competition. And then for the Abaca Weaving competition, we have Dom Martin. And then also Barge Ramos, who was a designer. And so we chose people who have been working with who have been seen throughout the years, the beauty of the textiles. One of the things about the textiles is we're seeing more and more that the quality of the designs and the techniques used has increased throughout the years. We've also seen younger participants send in their entries, and also designs that have been like 100-year-old designs have been coming out and showing that even in this modern day and age, we can still participate and do these practices.
Yeah, that's true. So, anong mga paraan, anong mga paraan ang ginagamit ng Likhang Habi Market Fair para mapalakas ang visibility ng Philippine textiles locally and internationally? So what are your marketing strategies, kumbaga?
Well, from the beginning until now, it's really been educating the local market because there's so much. You have textiles, and textiles are about identity. So different place has a different textile, and people like here in Manila or up in Baguio won't necessarily understand the context of textiles from, let's say, Mindanao or the Visayas. but bringing them all together, we have talks at the fair, and then the exchanges between weavers, it's able to spread the word and get people more excited. So we do have a strong social media presence, as well as we try to push intriguing stories of the weaving communities around the Philippines. We have a website. In 2020, we really migrated to online because of the pandemic.
Yes.
And so we're really pushing for that. And then we also have 3 documentaries that we started in 2020. So one is Threaded Traditions, Textiles of Panay Island. And then we had Threaded Traditions, The Ikat of the Cordillera. And then Threaded Traditions, the Inabal Textiles of the Bagobo Tagabawa. So we also work with weaving communities, the Philippine embassies. So the opportunity to have this film shown and to expand our audience. Because even internationally, we are looking at the Philippine diaspora. Maybe not yet totally thinking of an international audience for the market, but more also opening up for more understanding on Philippine crafts. And
Well,
textiles.
you know, from 14 to now more than 80 or 90, definitely there is growth, and the possibilities are endless. Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan kasama sina Habi Director Rambi Katrina Lim at ang founder ng Idyllic Summers na si Steffi Kua. Dito pa rin sa Art to Art, magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art to Art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa musika at teatro, itatanghal ng musical theater artist na si Sheila Valderrama Martinez ang Part of My World sa October 17, 7:30 p.m. sa tanghalang Ignacio Jimenez sa CCP Complex, Pasay City. Bahagi ito ng Triple Threat Concert Series ng Cultural Center of the Philippines kung saan ang bawat palabas ay nakatuon sa isang performer na may kakayahang umawit, umarte at sumayaw. Panauhin ang asawa at anak ni Sheila na sina Lawrence Martinez at Simone Martinez, kasama sina Arman Ferrer, David Ezra, Floyd Dena at ang mga musical theater leading ladies na sina Carla Guevara La Forteza at Yana Laurel. Para sa karagdagang detalye, bumisita sa official social media accounts ng CCP. Sa sining biswal, bilang bahagi ng pagdiriwang ng kanyang ika-50 taon sa mundo ng sining biswal, inihahandog ni glass sculptor Ramon Orlina ang aklat na Ramon Orlina Visions in Glass. Publication ng artist at ng Museo Orlina Foundation Incorporated, ang aklat na binubuo ng 570 pages ay sinulat ni Sid Reyes. May disenyo ni Dopey Doplon at nagtatampok sa mga larawan na kuha mismo ni Orlina, Bong Peñas at iba pa. Nagsilbi bilang project director ang may bahay ni Orlina na si Lay Ann. Inilunsad ang aklat noong October 9 kasabay ng pagbubukas ng exhibit ni Orlina sa Manila Art SMX Convention Center, SM Ora. Makikita ang exhibit hanggang ngayong araw na ito, October 13, 9 p.m. Sa sining biswal at pagtatanghal, inihahandog ng Cultural Center of the Philippines sa pakikipagtulungan ng Bellarmino and Partners ang In Situ Performance as Exhibition, the Philippine Edition, proyekto ng International Filipina curator na si Vanini Bellarmino. Tampok ang 8 obra ng mga Danish visual at performance artists na sina Lilibeth Cuenca, Rasmussen, Molly Hasland, Sophie Dupont at Philip Vest, kasama ang choreographer na si Kai Merke. Isasagawa ang mga ito mula October 15 hanggang 26 sa Manila, Los Baños at La Union sa pangunguna ng mga batikang Filipino choreographers at performers na sina Christine Crame, Ea Torado at ang Daloy Dance Company, kasama ang multidisciplinary artists na sina Sasa Cabalquinto, Jeremy Mayores at Kyle Confesor.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami,
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa!
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggalang makapit, madikit, at madupit na dumit mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon!
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Andito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama pa rin natin ang mga Philippine Textile Advocates na sina Rambi Lim at Steffi Kua. Rambi, ang misyon ng Habi ay hindi lang basta magbenta ng produkto. Ito rin ay tungkol sa storytelling at pag-preserve ng mga tradisyon. Paano mo tinitiyak na naaabot ng mga kwento ng mga weavers ang mas maraming tao?
So, ang importante kasi is that their stories get told, and their stories get told by themselves, by the weavers. And so, Habi utilizes social media, our documentaries, and then our books to make sure that that it's, I guess, documented. And then we also partner up with different institutions and schools so that it reaches a wider audience. One of the things that Habi has also been doing is we encourage volunteerism. So we have wonderful interns from different schools actually, and they participate to learn more because as an for myself as an example, like I learned so much just because of being with Habi. So it's just encouraging more people to tune in, to come to the fairs, because we also want to make sure that for our weaver partners or our beneficiaries, that they're able to up their skills and to be able to sell themselves. Hopefully, pero we won't sell na. We'll just promote them.
Okay. So, Steffi, paano mo isinasama ang mga traditional weaving techniques sa contemporary resort wear ng idyllic summer? Sa tingin mo, ano ang dahilan kung bakit ito nagiging mas appealing sa mga modern consumers?
Okay, there's two ways that we approach it as a brand. So we look at the textiles and then we sort of, so that's the traditional part of it, you know, the methods the weavers and the artisans use to create these textiles. And then the other part of it is the more contemporary side, which is sort of how we apply it into clothing. So these are going to be the form, the silhouettes. We also work with them on the design. So as you can see in the back, this is one of our piña kaftans, and the way that we've patterned it, we've created like a more modern flora design. But everything about this textile is still very traditional. It's still done on a hand loom. There's hardly any electricity involved. Everything is mano-mano. And then for the other two kaftans, for example, they're hablon. So they're woven in Iloilo, and the designs are still quite traditional to a certain degree. But you know, we've added like little bits of like what we would call more modern, which is, for example, for this striped kaftan, we added a bit of a metallic thread through it, and then for this other kaftan, so the color is a bit like brighter. So it really we think about design in a more sort of contemporary manner.
Yes.
And then, you know, the reason I think the market responds to this quite well is because nowadays consumers, they think about sustainability, they think about traceability. You know, people want to wear something that's, you know, has a story that's more meaningful as well, you know, that helps communities, supports communities. So I think that's the reason why it resonates so much with modern consumers, with also the youth of today.
Well, as a consumer, usually, ako ang feeling ko pag nagsha-shopping ako for traditional woven fabric is, paano yung care? Is it only dry clean only? Pwede ba siyang i-washing machine? Hand wash lang ba? Paano siya sinasampay? Kasi nga, usually pag pinya or ano, at saka nagugusot ba siya kaagad, mga things like that as a consumer.
The
what
more
would you
practical
yes.
side of taking care of a garment.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So, majority of the local weaves actually, it's low maintenance in the sense that you can just wash it. You don't need to dry clean it. Actually, they deter dry cleaning because of all of the chemicals and also deteriorates a lot of the fibers. So we always recommend just washing it. For piña, for example, we recommend to hand wash because the fibers, the strands are very delicate. But for other textiles, like for example, or hablon, you can literally just put it in a washing bag, put it in your dry cleaning, put it in your washing machine. Yes, on a delicate setting, and that should be good to go.
Okay. And what about maintenance like ironing?
Ironing, okay.
Plancha.
Plancha, yes. So it depends on you. I think nowadays the youth or like more modern consumers, there's a lot of like the casualization, right, when it comes to wearing clothes. So for example, this pinya over here, this hasn't been fully ironed, but I think it still looks good. So it also depends on you as a
Part
wearer.
of the appeal na rin
Yeah,
yun, ano?
it depends on you as a wearer, I think, what you would prefer. But definitely, you can steam it, you can iron it, maybe on like a lower heat setting. But yeah, they're quite low maintenance, I would say.
Okay. Rambi, so of course, both of you mentioned earlier yung sustainability and of course ethical production ng fashion industry. Paano nyo tinitiyak paano tinitiyak ng Habi na talagang nakikinabang ng tama ang mga weavers at artisans mula sa kanilang mga likha?
Parang bigat naman tinitiyak. But I think Habi works on making sure that the more sustainable and environmentally friendly materials are available. So we've been working with like the piña weaving competition, and then abaka means that we are in support of those communities that use pineapple and abaka, which they themselves process. Since I think 2013, Habi has been pushing for the Habi Cotton Project. So it started in Ilocos. Then now we're working with farmers in Antique and Negros to buy cotton from them and to spin, have it spun in one of the mills that we have in the Philippines and make it available to weavers. I think by offering options for weavers, because the thing is, we no longer have a steady supply of natural cotton threads in the Philippines commercially, because most of the threads we have are in polyester. So Habi has been in support in developing that. We do need more government support, commercial support to push the agenda of sustainability in terms of what's woven.
Yes.
But aside from what was traditionally woven cotton, we also support like mats and basketry, and that really is about what the Philippines has to offer in terms of natural materials.
True.
So for me, that would be the main thing for sustainability, is be able to make sure that weaving communities have access to the material that they're using to produce. And then, of course, they also have a market for them to sell it. That's why we have the annual market fair. It's also a chance for them to find other venues for them to sell their products in. To also open up to the idea of actually diversifying their product line with working with designers like Stephanie. So I think the avenues and the support is how we want to ensure that the textile industry in the Philippines is sustainable and will grow into the future for the youth of the Philippines.
And any best sellers that we really have to watch out for?
There's so many. The fair will hold so many. I'm always excited to see it on the first day because you will see things that you've never seen before. I think what the fair encourages also is it gives pride to the makers. They realize, oh yeah, I made this and people appreciate it. Then now I'll make more. A lot of them are even saying, I know a better technique. Next year I'll do that. So that's always a thing. And when we do our rounds in the morning, especially on the first day, there are some who will call out and say, look, I have something new. I want to show it to you. And so the community that has been built with Habi, with the vendors, with the enterprises, that's beautiful and that inspires them to create new products. So please come. Please do come and visit the fair.
Okay. Steffi, just on a final note, anong advice ang maibibigay mo sa ibang mga entrepreneurs na gustong makatrabaho ng ang local weavers at artisans pero hindi alam kung paano magsimula?
Okay. First of all, I'm in full support of anyone who works with our weavers and artisans. I think there's so much opportunity, so much avenue pa to be discovered in terms of that. But the first advice that I would always say is try to really immerse yourself in the world of the artisans and the weavers. So, that could mean going to where their communities are. So that's, all over the Philippines actually. And second of all, I think there has to be respect and humility when you come in as an entrepreneur, as a business person, or as a designer, because it's a two-way conversation. They know a lot of things that we actually don't. So it's always good to have that conversation going, and at the same time, you have to think of how this partnership can be mutually beneficial to the both of you. It has to be like a win-win sort of situation, right? Like both financially and also creatively. So yeah, so that's what I would recommend and advise to people.
Okay, maraming salamat sa pagdalaw ninyo dito sa aming programa, Rambi, Steffi. And bago tayo magtapos, imbitahin na ninyo muli ang ating mga viewers and listeners na suportahan ang Likhang Habi Fair this coming weekend.
So we'd like to invite everyone. Please come to the Glorieta Activity Center on October 18, 19, and 20 for the 14th Likhang Habi Market Fair, where we have over 100 booths with textiles from all over the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Alright, hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art to Art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Macuja Elizalde, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.